Welcome to Trading Lounge and the American indices for the 11th of February. Starting with the S&P here on the 4-hour chart, the low, we've been working this trend to the upside, and it does appear that it's in 5 waves to the upside. So we'd been counting the last little 5 waves between wave 4 and wave 5 here. Moving up through here. So we've got our first little impulse wave to the downside. So from this high here down to wave A here, we can be looking at 5 waves. So 5 waves down here, little ABC pattern here pulling back to the 61.8%, then wave 3, 4 and 5 here. If we do get 5 waves here, which is when we're looking at wave 1 and 2 here, we would look for a simple zigzag, an A wave, a B wave, and a C wave. And that would be a 5, 3, 5 structure here. So if we do get 5 waves coming down through here, then we can expect to get a 3-wave counter trend, and then another 5 waves down through here. If we only get 3 waves down through to here, then we need to look either to be bullish and make a new high, or we have 3 waves to wave A here, and then 3 waves to wave B, and then we would still look for 5 waves in wave C here. But in that case, it's probably likely to be a B wave in that case, because wave 2s are normally simple zigzag patterns here. So that's what we're looking for. So let's just move into this little space here on the hourly chart and the tick chart as well and have a look at that. So from the top here, we've been looking at this as wave 1 and 2 and 3, and last time we spoke we were here, I think, and we were looking for wave 5 to move lower, and then looking for a move upwards into this space here, the 61.8% mark here, which we need to talk about this here in a bit of detail. But because we got 5 waves here, that means that after some type of correction here, then we'll be looking for another move to the downside here. Now, it's always nice to get a nice simple ABC correction for wave 2, an ABC. So this little move up through here, we'll need to look at the tick chart in a moment. But I was sort of hoping for an A wave, a B wave here, and a C wave here, and then down here, and then we could use this low and this low here with a line across it as a trigger for the downside movement here. Yeah, we need to look at that. We'll need to look at this here. But anyway, this market can rally back up to, if it finds support on 2,720, then we'll need to look for the upside at that point, because it's above the 61.8%, and yeah, it's a bit of a critical level there. So a small long position on top of support on 2720, and also look to add to on top of 2730 here. But otherwise we'll see this fold over from here. So on the tick chart here, this is the move to the upside here. So from this low here, yeah, so this little move up through here, we need to look at that in a bit more detail. This is in 100 ticks here. So I'm just going to move it over to 20 ticks here and just have a look at this here. So from the low here, we need to look at it in a couple of, we need to talk about this for a moment. So the move up through here can be an A wave and a B wave, and then wave 1 and 2 here, and wave 3 and 4 here, and then wave 5 up here, which would be 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 up into this space. So it can end here, okay? But at the same time, I don't have any evidence of a move to the downside here as yet. So yes, it can be an ABC pattern here. So when it gets to the top here, what you would need to see here is I have to draw over this side of the price too, because I can't draw on the tick on this side with a tick chart. This is 20 ticks. So from the top here, we would need to see 1, to, or you would need to see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 waves to the downside, and then you would see 3 waves to the upside, pulling back up 50 or 60%. Then you can draw a line through here, and then you can move in through here. That normally comes back and retests the trend line there, and move down from that point there. So that's one way of doing it. The other point we just need to be a bit careful about here as well is that, if I can just copy this for a moment, is that this can be wave 1 here, this can be wave 2 here. All of this up here, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 here, can be wave 3 here, and then pulling back to wave 4 here, and then wave 5 here. So that would be the trap in this case. So in this instance here, going from the third wave, from wave 2 to the top of wave 3, let's just draw it here. This wave 4 here can pull back to the wave 4 of 1 lesser degree, back onto the 2700 here, and then move up into 5 waves here. If that is the case, then we've obviously got a bullish market here. So it also tells us something else as well. It tells us that if the market can find itself under the 2700 area here, because if that was going to be 5 waves to the upside here, then wave 4 would pull back to the wave 4 of 1 lesser degree, or the 38.2% retracement level. We can take those there and bring it into the 2700, because that's where the orders are going to be, the volume. So we could say that if 2700 became the retested resistance, then we can look to short from that point. Okay, so just going back to the hourly chart here. Oops, I can't do it on that one. I just use that from my tick chart there, so I'll just take that back to there. So going back to the 1 hour chart here is where we try to put the trade setups here. So, you know, no matter what sort of happens here, we need to be just a little bit mindful. So we could go long, could go short under the 27 here as a retested resistance. So if I just clean these up here for a moment. So the retested resistance would see this market come down here and bounce off here, and then it would come through here, and you want that reference point low here. Once you've got that reference point low here, then you can move this here under here, and then 1 point under this, and if it's breached at that point, you're on the right track. Then it will muck around here for a while, of course, but it will move down at that point. So we can be short from that point there. And yeah, let's just have a bit of a look around at a couple of sort of stocks here. I'll look at stuff that's banks, basically. So this is Citigroup here. So we've been looking at Citigroup as an A and a B and a C wave here. So the move up here, as I've mentioned before, it's coming into a medium level here, which is 65. So in terms of the trading levels, we have a major level here of 50, then 80, which is just the Fibonacci numbers as a price ratio. So 1, 2, 3, 5, and 8 here. The medium level, just slightly, anyway, it's halfway between 5 and 8, 65. So yeah, it's meeting resistance here. So we can look at this too in terms of these banks, in terms of a move lower too in this move up here is an impulse wave, and moving back into the sort of, it may not move all the way back here, but certainly can do, and we'll need to look at that there. So that's Cities. What else have I got here in reach? We've got Morgans. So Morgans have got a better A, B, and C here. This is rather sharp for a C wave. I'd like to see a C wave on more of an angle, so it is a little bit concerning, but we were looking for it to rally to this box here. Our target area, it's done that. So we're also looking for it to move back lower here as well. But with these as well, you know, we'll need to monitor this further here. But if we can see this as an ABC pattern here, then we'll look to go long back on these ones here. If we've got a reference point low here and it's breached at that point, well then we'll definitely be looking to go short at that point if that's going to be the case. So we're really using, you know, large numbers for our setups with these things, and also trying to do our best with the Elliott count, but there's nothing to be had here in the banks just yet. We need them to just have a look at Goldman's as well here. Goldman's is the same here as well. So only had a short wave here for wave 5. I'll just look on the hourly chart, and I'm okay with that because it's at a large number. This is 200 here, so major trading level 2, and then we've got a medium level here and a medium level here. But we've been counting this to the upside here in terms of 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5. So we've kind of got, I mean, we could look at this as an A and a B and a C here, but I want to see how this develops. This is also 3 waves to here, so I need to see if it's going to develop further down here. So we're not ready to, I mean, if we're going to short this, then this is the retest. So the market's moved through here, gone back up and retest it. So we can put a line under that. We could also put a line under this one here, and it's gone up and retested and dropped. So, you know, these would have been the short areas here. So shorting it here can just get us into problems. So we need to see if this is going to give us you know, larger 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 down here, and then then we get the ABC, and then we can go short here. So we just got to get our timing right on those. So I'll just leave it those there for the banks, but we will look at the Nasdaq now as well, and then we'll have a look at some of the Nasdaq stocks as well. So with the Nasdaq here, the same as the S&P here, we're looking for 5 waves down here. So we've got those 5 waves down. I've just put it as an A and a B and a C, but it could be wave 1 down and wave 2 here. But the main point here is that we're looking for short trades to the downside. So whatever happens here, we can go that low there. We can also put it up here a little bit higher here as well. But what we're also looking for here is, it's just nice if we can, I'm just putting it here as an A wave, but it's probably wave 1. But like I said, it doesn't matter. Let's just work this particular pattern here. So from one of those highs there, we'll be looking for this to move into this space here. So I don't know the rally on the S&P yet either. So, you know, it's still a bit of a guessing game at this stage because it's not completed. So I don't know if we get 5 waves up here. If we get 5 waves, so then we're going to have an ABC here, and then we're going to have another 5 waves up into this space, and then we're going to move down. If that's going to be the case, then we can put this here on an angle here. We just don't know that just yet though, do you know? So we just need to chill, and this one here needs to be below the 61.8% of whatever length that is here. So you need to give it, I mean, normally we'd just put it underneath here, but we can put it further up here. But the market coming down here is going to have a bounce back up, so you're going to get sort of clipped and hold a loss here for a bit. So you need to work this better through here. So when we look at, well, we have to have a look at Amazon. We've been always looking at Amazon. So with Amazon here, we're looking at this as in line with the other markets. It's an A wave, a B wave, and a C wave here. I know that we can also look at this here too as 1 and 2 and 3, and A, B, C for 4th here. Pulling back up to the 4th wave, 1 less a degree roughly, and then down. So I know I can look at this as 5 waves here, but I'm just lining it up with the Nasdaq as well. So let's just see how we go here. I mean, we've got our top target in place here, and then we're pulling back into the 1500 area here. If the 1500 becomes a retested resistance, by all means we'll look to go short at that point. On the 4-hour chart here, just looking at this, that's not giving us any difference here, just the 1-hour chart here. So with the 1-hour chart, we've been counting 5 waves up, and we're looking for a move down into this space here, preferably a simple ABC pattern here. So let's just go in and have a look at this for a second. I'm just on 100 ticks here. So we've got our 5 waves here, then we've got our ABC pattern here, and then we've got wave 1, 2, and the third wave is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for the third wave, fourth wave here and down. We've got, I mean, it looks like it could be finished here already, actually. It looks like that can be finished right here, but it's probably more likely that we'll end up with, I can't draw on this side here, but to pull back up to this fourth wave of 1 lesser degree and then come down here again. So this is why we use the level. This is a medium level here of 1500. It's a little bit strange, but this is 1650 is also a medium level as well. So there's no way we're going to go long unless we get back above here at this stage, because this is not. I don't know if this is fully developed yet, and we're still looking for further downside on the other markets. So we can't look at this just yet. It's wrong to put that there on the, I mean, it's possible, but I don't have any evidence to back that up at this stage. So we want our setups to be strong. So 1650 would be the long side there. I'll have a look at Apple, because Apple's quite interesting. It's quite bearish, really, when we look at it. So I'm still working on this one, actually, but I have to check this impulse wave coming down here. But at first glance, I was looking at 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 here for wave 1 here, back for wave 2 here, then 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 for the third wave, fourth wave here, and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 here for this. So it does appear that we've got an impulse wave here. So, and this move up through here so far is not giving me 5 waves, it's giving me 3 waves. There's an A and a B and a C here. So I don't know if I can just put that here and we'll get, so it's just a 3-wave move up, or we're going to get 5 waves up here with a little correction here and 5 waves here. If we get 5 waves here, then we can look for an ABC pattern here and then another 5 waves to here. But we should come down at that point because it does appear that we've got 5 waves from this top here. So that will be critical on that. So just on the hourly chart here. Yeah, I just don't know. I mean, I know that we had 5 waves here, so we could go long across the top here. You can move a stop up. This can pull back to the wave 4 of 1 lesser degree here. That looks like it's 5 waves down through here, so it'll rally and down again. I don't know this. I don't know how this is going to be pulled around just yet, if it's going to do its own thing or not. So that's not much thing. There is another bearish one too, which is Berkshire Hathaway. So you know, we looked at this being wave 3 here and ABC for wave 4 and up for wave 5 here, and then we've had a bit of a cacophony of structures here. But one thing that does stand out here a little bit to me is that I could look at this as down for 1 here, and this is an A and a B and a C here, as it hasn't really breached the top here. Or yeah, I can look at it in different ways, or I can look at 5 waves down here in terms of 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5. Doesn't give me a very nice wave 1 here. But what sort of turns me on here a little bit is that this is, at this stage here, this move here is looking corrective as an A wave, a B wave, and then a C wave here, and 5 waves to the upside here. This is looking impulsive to the downside here. So it's quite a good guide stick, this particular stock. So if we can see a nice 5-wave structure coming down through here and then a retest here, then that would give us a signal to the downside at this point here too. So just looking at Apple and this one of being bearish to the downside, and there will be, obviously there'll be others as well. But I'll just leave it at that for the time being. Video's long enough. So alrighty, thanks for tuning in. Cheers.